Welcome to Optimal Timelines. I am your guide, Sean Collins, in helping you to connect to your most optimal future timeline. So it's going to be your monthly Tarotscope readings for the month of March 2022. And remember, you're going to want to watch two videos, one for your North Node by sign and one for your North Node by house. Now, if you're new to the channel, the reason I use the North Node in the readings as opposed to your sun sign, moon sign, or ascendant is because it's recognized in astrology that the North Node is your life's purpose, what you were born to do and accomplish in this lifetime. So I find it's much more relevant across the board for people's lives. So let's get started on the readings. Okay, so this is your monthly Tarotscope reading for March 2022 for everybody with their North Node in Aries and or the first house. So I'm going to connect to the energies and we can begin. I call upon my spirit guides and guardians and the wisdom of my ancestors to bring forth the information that's true and correct for all who see this reading, that it may bring them the most beautiful, happy life possible and set them on their most optimal future timeline. So may it be. Okay, so the spread on this side of the table represents the first half of the month from the 1st to the 15th. The spread on this side represents the second half of the month from the 16th on. And I did something just like I did last month, which was a book divination, which is called Lithomancy, where I took the really great North Node book, Astrology for the Soul by Jan Spiller. And I did a book divination for each of the North Nodes and by sign and house. And for you, what came up for your North Node in Aries was self-love and self-acceptance. And it's interesting because as you saw the shuffle, the card that came out was the Empress. And, you know, the Empress has the Venus, planet Venus sigil down here with a heart-shaped rock. And, you know, the power of the Empress is, and also the Emperor card, both those cards. The interesting thing is that it is self-contained strength. Okay, being able to self-love and self-validate yourself. Okay, because the strength comes from within, not from without. And that's what came up big time for you, North Node in Aries, was it was time to really look at what it means to be self-accepting and self-loving, because your superpower in this lifetime, having your South Node in Libra, is this wonderful ability to love and support others and to accept others and be there for others. And so now what's happening is you're supposed to do that for yourself. And, you know, as I've said a lot with this North Node is, remember, you are given a license to be selfish in this lifetime. Selfishness is not a bad word all the time because there are, what is the opposite of if you're not giving enough to yourself, then you are feeling this lack in your life. And that's kind of what this month is about this, making this adjustment. Now, one of the things I see for the first half of the month is, with this Justice card here, is we're seeing a balance of being able to balance giving to yourself and giving to others, okay? One of the things that, again, another Libra connection with your South Node in Libra is you see on the Justice card the scales, okay? And it's about balancing. It's about being fair and just to yourself, again. And I know it seems weird for a lot of you. You're like, I just feel weird about, self-care, taking care of myself. I don't want to seem like, because you're so used to giving it outward. Now, one of the things that can happen a lot is, I think that what's going to happen this first half of the month is a lot of the wounds that you've experienced since you were a child all the way up to wherever you are in your life path right now, a lot of those wounds have to do with people not loving and supporting you enough. Okay, and that's one of the things that you can see with this North Node by sign and house, is you could see almost like anywhere from just having a lot of feeling unsupported in your life, minor things, depending on where you are, like on your timeline and your path, all the way up to actually dealing with, abusive situations, mental abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse, okay? And the reason that happens in, a person's life is, it's like the great Jeffrey Wolf Green, the evolutionary astrologer, said, in his book, his 2 Pluto volumes, is there's 2 ways that we evolve as beings. We evolve either through gradual learning, taking steps and just a gradual thing, or it could be cataclysmic. Okay, so things have to happen to kind of like wake us up. And so if you've experienced, a lot of like hurts and wounds and whatnot, that keeps coming up in your lifetime, in this lifetime, because of kind of not learning from those mistakes. And see, the key is, it's almost like there could be like a vicious cycle that starts, because let's say a person has this North Node and they've experienced a lot of like, people like, not giving enough love or supporting them, or even being, abusive in some way. They think that if I'm just more giving, if I'm just more loving, if I just give more of myself outwardly, then I won't experience this. But see, that it doesn't work that way, okay? Because what ends up happening, the reason that the things keep happening, and you see this like reverse 9 of Wands, okay? Learning, past wounds, past battles. The reason that it keeps recurring is because if you were given enough love from the outside, you would never develop that yourself. It would just be in this, you continue with this loop of, okay, I'm just going to stay the way I am, And so remember, your North Node is what you're supposed to learn. So when you are feeling like you're not getting support or love, then you are forced to give it to yourself and stand up. This just came to mind. Think about various movies or stories, that you've read or you've watched, okay? You think of the archetype of the person who keeps getting pushed in some way, not physically necessarily, but they just keep getting pushed, and they don't do anything about it. They just keep getting pushed, like life keeps pushing them. People keep kind of pushing them down, okay? And then all of a sudden, that archetype, they've had enough, and then they say, I can't take it anymore, and they start standing up for themselves, and they start completely like, something had to happen to make them, make that change. That's what I'm talking about. And part of that is like self-love. You're like, okay, enough's enough. I need to start giving to myself. I need to start. And what this is stepping into your own power. So what I'm seeing is that there is this first half of the month, there's going to be a test that, and maybe a few tests that come up, but for sure at least one major test where if you pass this test, you can move out of this loop. And if you're able to pass this test, meaning standing up for yourself, putting yourself first, honoring yourself, loving yourself, not taking any sort of, if you're getting any sort of guff or abuse in your life in any sort, but it's like making that stand, like enough is enough. If you do that, this is going to propel your life forward. Okay, the Chariot card, you have the two Sphinxes, you have the black and the white. We see this again, this whole polarity thing all throughout the tarot, and we see this whole thing with the High Priestess, the white and the black pillar. Okay, now what this is that if in our lives, if one side of a polarity is stronger than the other, what happens if you actually have a cart, let's say like a chariot or some sort of a cart, and you have two animals, like let's say two horses, okay, and one of them is pulling way harder than the other. Well, that cart is really hard to steer, and it could like go around in circles. You could be like looping, okay? You need both to move forward and propel you forward in your life. And so that's what this is, this first half of the month. Now, one of the things that's coming up here is that when I see this Nine of Wands reversed and I see the Judgment reversed, remember, Judgment is like a wake-up call. This is an opportunity for you this month in March 2022. As I said, to really, really make your stand in a loving way, okay? But remember, when you make that stand, what that is, when you say, like, for example, no, I'm not going to take this anymore, okay? That is self-love. You're saying, no, I love and respect myself enough to say, no, enough is enough. That's what this is. And it's going to be different for each of you. Some of you, it might be more subtle. Some of you, it might be more dramatic. Everyone that has this North Node has a similar path, but to different degrees depending on where you are in that path, okay? So really, really big month for you to move forward. Now, the second half of the month, I really feel a lot of you are going to like pass the test and kind of learn from this. Then that's what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing this whole thing of like opening up of your heart. Like when this happens and you start to, even if you just do it a little bit, just start to give yourself priority in your life. And don't feel like it's bad in a selfish way. It's selfish in a good way, okay? When you start to do that, I feel like this self-empowerment, so heart opening. And the other thing that I see is for the second half of the month is being able to, a couple things, being able to have, I'm seeing this like vitality in your life. It's like, when we all go through this as humans where sometimes, you're just kind of like, you're okay, but you can be kind of like listless with a lack of energy, and you're just kind of like going along. And then something happens in your life where you get energized, like something in your life where it's like this, it's not necessarily just like an excitement of like, oh, I'm going on vacation, but like you get energized about something in your life. Could be in a relationship or whatever it is. That's what I'm seeing is when you do this and you're giving the self-love, you're giving vitality to your life. And remember, with this life path, the stronger you make yourself in this life, the stronger you allow yourself to be in this lifetime, the better you are for other people. Like, it's weird because the more you try to deny yourself, deny self-love or deny self-acceptance, the less power you'll have in this lifetime. That's why you have to go out and do this. And when you make these stands and start doing that, you're going to, revitalize your life. Now, here's the interesting thing. The advice is this for this second half of the month. After you've passed these tests and say, even in little ways, just stand up for yourself. Think of all words with self. Love yourself, accept yourself, stand up for yourself. Anything with the word self is good for you in this lifetime. Okay, when you do that, that is going to help you also have the ability to make decisions. Because I know with your South Node in Libra, with this placement, making decisions can be very difficult because one of your other superpowers is the ability of fairness. You have the ability, the superpower to be super fair. If I had a choice and I was looking for a judge to judge something, and I wanted someone to be completely fair, I would look for someone with a lot of Libra energy, okay? Like you have that superpower of being fair. Now here's the thing. Part of being able to judge things is, making decisions, okay? And decisions can be difficult with this placement with the South Node in Libra, because it's like, okay, you're like weighing this out. Well, should I do? And that's, again, the scales, right? So I could do this, and then this and this and this could happen. But wait, I could do this, and this and this and this can happen. So it can be very confusing. So being decisive is really, really important. And this second half of the month, what it is that the other test, I feel like, for the second half of the month is being able to make decisions without being confused. Because that's what I see here. You see the King of Swords, okay? Making decisions, clear thinking, okay? And then you have the Seven of Cups, okay? Which is, emotional decisions or not, it could mean also what I'm seeing here with these two cards is having a difficulty trying to figure out what decision, where do I want to go? Like weighing things out, okay? So being decisive. Now, how do you know you're making the right decision, okay? That's where you have to check in with your body, and you have to just ask yourself, when you're left making a decision, whether it's a small decision or a big decision, from the small decision of, wow, what should I have for dinner tonight? Where should we go to dinner tonight? How do I feel about this relationship? How do I feel about this person? Okay, when you do that, you ask that question, and you don't try to figure it out in your mind. The decisiveness comes from asking the clear question. That's where the King of Swords comes in. And then checking in with your body, okay? And that's where Aries in the first house rules the body, okay? The physical body. So you will get the answer. It'll connect, like your brain and your heart and your intuition and your body will tell you the right answer. And then make a decision. And you know what? Even if you, in this lifetime, it's almost like you can't go wrong with decisions as long as they're done decisively, okay? Because it's like that you are being rewarded in this lifetime to be decisive. Remember, Aries, Aries, yes, can be impulsive and they can go off in, wrong directions. But for you in this lifetime, you're rewarded for like being decisive, okay? So those two tests, okay, this month, really, really, think about it. Don't do the whole past looping thing, okay? Don't learn from the past mistakes. And look, if you've gone through some really intense things in your life, any sort of, hardships with like relationships and abuse, my heart and love goes out to you, okay? But it's time for you to become the warrior. Remember, think about a movie, a story, or a book you've read or watched, okay? Think about a character that's just said, no, I am not going to be a doormat anymore. I'm not going to, put up with this anymore. And by you making yourself strong, you invigorate your life, you get vitality, and then you're able to be the best you can be for those closest to you and those that really need you. we need you in this lifetime to be strong, and only you can allow yourself to be strong. So go out there and make it a great month. If you have any questions, love to hear from you in the comments. Reach out. If you can hit the like button if you like this video, it really helps with the algorithm gods. And like I said, just say hi. Any questions, I love to connect with everybody, in the comment sections. If you'd like a personal reading, there'll be a link in the description box below. And go out there and make it a great month. Thank you so much for watching, liking, sharing, and subscribing. And we'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings.